We honor veterans every year with flags, parades, and speeches, and we should. They put their lives on the line to preserve our freedoms and our way of life. But here's the thing that most people don't realize. There was another kind of a soldier. Labor Day was fought in the streets. People weren't just protesting politely. They were getting their heads bashed in with clubs. They were being shot at by troops. Their legs were being broken with rods. In one incident, over 70 people were killed. Labor Day exists because people died for it. Back in the late 1800s, the industrial economy was booming. Railroads, steel factories, they were all growing extremely fast. But for the workers, life was brutal. 12-hour days, 7-day work weeks, unsafe work conditions, and even child labor was normal. When workers pushed back, it wasn't negotiations in a boardroom. It was chaos in the streets. Take the Haymarket affair in 1886. A rally for an 8-hour day turned deadly when a bomb went off in Chicago. Police fired into the crowd. Dozens of people were killed and wounded. But that was just the beginning. The struggle went on for 8 long years. 8 years later, it culminated in the Pullman Strike of 1894. This one hit especially hard. Pullman had built a model town for his workers. Sounds nice, right? Except he owned the housing and the stores. And when the Depression hit, he cut the wages by 25 to 30% and refused to lower the rent. The impact of this? One worker worked for $9.07 every 2 weeks, and Pullman took $9 in rent, leaving him just 7 cents, about $2 today, to feed his family. Imagine coming home and working 12-hour work days, 7 days a week, and telling your kids you only have 7 cents to keep them alive. Depression turned into fury. Strikes spread nationwide, and railroads were shut down. Federal troops were brought in. What followed wasn't just a protest, it was a battle. Troops fired in the crowds. People were beaten with clubs and iron rods, and railroads were burned. And in the end, over 70 people died nationwide, 30 in Chicago alone. The violence was so extreme that Congress could no longer ignore it, for they had sided with business, but suddenly the public outrage was just too big. Within months, they rushed legislation to create Labor Day, partly to recognize the workers, but also to calm the storm. And that's how the holiday was born, not as a picnic, not as a barbecue, not as a parade, but as a pressure valve to relieve the blood that was spilled in the streets. Here's the important part. Labor Day wasn't the end of the struggle. It was just the turning point. Shorter hours, safe work conditions, fairer pay started to become the norm. And out of that balance came the middle class, the very engine that built the strongest consumer economy in the world. Henry Ford even doubled the workers' wages in 1914 so they could afford the cars he built. He understood something. Fairness wasn't a cost, it was a growth strategy. So the next time flags are flying on Labor Day, remember this. It isn't just the end of the summer. It's a day that exists because ordinary people fought like soldiers. And some of them died so that we could live with our freedoms of 8-hour work days, weekends, and the protections that we all take for granted. That's why I put this full breakdown together. If you want to read more about this and stories like this, visit me at the Actualization Zone at actualistconsulting.com. Have a great day.